Let's take a look here at Vanishing Point inside of Photoshop CS3, because although it's not new inside of CS3, it's got some great improvements here. So right now I've got a picture of a truck, and this is kindly provided by iStock because, well, I don't have a picture of a truck, but it makes a really good example here of what we're trying to do. Now, what I'm going to do is go into the filter menu and go to Vanishing Point. And again, this is not new in CS3. It was here in CS2, but there's some really cool improvements. So I would normally go to my Create Plane tool, and what we would do is click on a corner point anywhere and then drag, and you'll see kind of it's a little elastic rubber band kind of deal that follows your cursor around. So I would drag up to the top here and then drag right down toward the bottom here. And although I can't see the corner over here, I can pretty much guesstimate where it should be. So I'll just add a point just about here. And now the problem that we ran into is we were always able to create another plane. I can hold down my control key on the PC, the command key on the Mac, and I can click right on this point over here. And you'll see as I create another plane, see how it starts to come out toward me? Well, in previous versions of Photoshop, you were not able to control this plane. But now you've got this angle setting up here. If you hover your cursor over it, it changes that little scrubby slider, that left-right arrow. And now I can move this around almost as if it's on hinges. See, it looks like a door opening. Alright, and now I can make this plane fit anywhere that I want to. Alright, and it's a little bit too small here, so I just drag it out and drag it down the remainder of the truck. Again, if I need to fit it in slightly, I can. Now it gets a little too big, so I'll just make it a little smaller, but now I can make it fit the contour of the truck, alright, no matter what, because I can always change this angle. So that's one new feature in CS2, or CS3 I should say. Now I'm going to click OK, and that Vanishing Point plane gets saved when I click OK. And now what we want to do is put a graphic on here. So I have a graphic in this file here. I'm going to just choose Select All, and then go ahead and copy it. And now let's take it over into this document because I copied it, so my computer has it in memory. And the trick is, you want to do this onto a blank layer. So I'm going to open up a blank layer here, go back into Vanishing Point, and remember how I said that plane gets saved? Well, see how it's still here? So I don't have to recreate it. Once I do it in Vanishing Point once, it's always saved. And now all you got to do to get that graphic that we copied into this truck document here is press Control V for paste on the PC or Command V on the Mac, and it pastes the graphic in. But here's the cool part. As I move this graphic around, you're going to see it snap to the front side of the truck here. But watch what happens when I go around the corner. See that? See how it goes around with it? That is brand new inside of CS3. Inside of CS2, it would either let me put it on the front or it had to go all the way on the side. It would never let me wrap it around the truck as it is now. See how it works with this plane and it works with this plane. Now I don't want it on the front, but you can imagine maybe a DVD cover, a bottle, lots of different things that you could wrap graphics around to different sides. So as I move it here, I can position it right into the center of the plane on the side of the bus, or the truck, and click OK. And you'll see it pops up right on the side there. So there we have it. And the ability to put it on the separate blank layer that I made, well, what that lets us do is, number one, we can always go in and turn it off because we haven't changed the original layer. We could always come in here and drop the opacity down a little bit, and maybe even go in and paint some shadows and some highlights on it if it starts to look a little bit too fake and too flat. So there you have it. Vanishing Point inside of CS3. Hats off to Adobe because they've really listened to the customers and given two features that when Vanishing Point came out in CS2, everybody thought it was cool, but these are two features that folks were crying for because it really makes the Vanishing Point tool much more usable. So now we have them inside of Photoshop CS3.